Thank you, Sarah. And now we actually have someone here to speak to the issue of living wages in general. We know that this impacts students in two ways because of the debt load and then the low wage issue. And we also know that low wages impact everyone in this valley. They impact families that our organizations work for and represent. And so Alex Budd is a community organizer who actually works on raising wages in Southern Oregon. And he's here to tell us why that's important for everyone in Southern Oregon. Alex, thanks.
All right, well, thank you. I think we've heard a lot of great testimony so far, but going even further, the economy is recovering, so we're told. But for many working families across Oregon, it doesn't feel that way so much. People are still struggling to make ends meet, and what used to jobs that may have once provided a living, where one person in a household could work full time and provide for the family and save for retirement, that's no longer the case. Now we have families with two people working full time and still struggling to make ends meet. And that's at the core why we need a living wage, not just raising the minimum wage. We need to think about it in a different way. We need to think about it in terms of a living wage, where it's not about drawing a specific line or writing down a specific number. It's about drawing a line where no one should have to work full time and still live in poverty. Mm-hmm. No one should have to work full time and still struggle to make ends meet. No one should have to work full time and choose between caring for their family or their financial security. And we know that this is good for business as well. This isn't just a workers' issue. Too often we talk about raising the minimum wage or living wages in terms of an employer versus employee dynamic. And that's not really the case necessarily. We know that consumer spending drives 70% of the economy, and when workers have more money, more disposable income that they can spend, that creates more jobs by driving up demand at businesses. That also creates tax revenue, and that's how we build a real thriving economy. Not quite as prepared as I would like to be. Beyond that, looking to the future, 6 of the top 10 growth occupations that are projected for the next decade in the U.S. are in low-wage industries, and we see that reflected, the consequences of that in the post-recession era now. The recession hit some higher wage jobs, higher income positions hardest, and a lot of the growth that we've seen in the last 5 years since then has been in low wage jobs, and meaning that there are even more people now struggling to get by than there may have been before. In Oregon, that's 150,000 people that are living on minimum wage, which means they're taking home less than $19,000 a year. And of that 150,000, 2/3 of those are women, many with children. And so we see these impacts ripple on outwards. And of course, it affects the next generation that's going to be going to school and college as well. And how will they be able to afford it? I think that, there's tons of reasons why we should raise the minimum wage. We can talk about the numbers specifically and debate what that wage should look like, and that's a conversation that we need to have, but it's not a conversation that's happening really right now in the Rogue Valley, and I think that's why we're here today, is to start that conversation. Right. And make sure that our communities are places where people who work full-time can provide for their families and aren't struggling to get by. So thank you.
All right.